credit for calling out the Black Friends play before she was able to run the He Had Black Friends play. Is she still going to run the He Had Black Friends play? Absolutely. Welcome to Street Politics. My name is Reese Waters. Shout out to all of our new subscribers and members here on the channel. Lara Trump, didn't we tell you we didn't want it?
Oh, this is a nice one. Is Lara Trump as stupid as she appears to be? What is it that's stupid? Let me ask you that.
And to be honest, I'm surprised that the Republicans still want it as well after you found time just months away from a presidential election to try one last time to get your singing career off of the ground. And I do mean off of the ground.
Out your bravery, we're all out of luck. No, this can't be denied. You gotta be special.
But it did give us this though. So there's that.
Without your bravery, we're all out of luck.
Lara Trump was so off key, it started a fight in line at a Michigan Trump rally. Cause I know that's what all that discord was about. Ain't no way them red hats swinging on one another if not for being driven mad by something that's being pumped into their brain.
Out your bravery, we're all out of luck. No, this can't be denied. You gotta be special.
I'm pretty sure that's how we lost Michael Eric Dyson. I think that's how we lost Michael Eric Dyson, because Michael Eric Dyson, he was looking for customer service. He called and they put Lara Trump was the whole music, and it just drove him crazy. Next thing he know, he picked up his phone and he sent an emoji to Clancy Moose.
And it is because of my love for our country, and specifically because of the leadership that President Trump has brought to transform the Republican Party and bring it back to the party of the people and the party of peace, that I'm proud to stand here with you today, President Trump, and announce that I'm joining the Republican Party.
Y'all heard something? Y'all heard something? Nah, I didn't hear nothing. I ain't gonna chase that one. That is a dead end. Lara, you didn't get the message when you had that infamous Trump boat party? You know, the one where you had the huge image of Trump bleeding from the face after being shot, but have his grandchildren on the boat looking and internalizing that the entire time? Like, that is the kind of parenting decision that I can only expect from somebody that would film themselves drinking wine with a crying baby. And would you look at who decided to join the boat party?
Our 2024, yeah. Jupiter Trump-themed boat parade, man. There we go. Let's see it. My Pillow, 1488, motherfuckers. Look at those beautiful swastikas. We gotta make America white again. Hail Trump. White power. White power.
And that messed me up. Just when we started to normalize black people in the water, we got Simone Manuel out here inspiring a new generation. And here we find out that the Nachos got boats. That's a bummer. And here I am thinking they mostly in the mud and things, you know? Who gave them sea-doos? But Lara Trump is nothing if not relentless. Her pursuit of her singing career should have taught us that. She's still trying it.
You were there last night, and I'm sure that it was not easy, that it was emotional for you and your family. But as I mentioned, a lot has changed politically since that happened 3 months ago. Can you give me a sense of the state of things on the ground in Pennsylvania where you just were?
Yeah, well, let me just briefly say, Dana, that it really was a beautiful moment yesterday in Butler. And I think it was really important in terms of healing for this country. I can tell you there were over 100 100,000 people at that rally there last night. I have never seen a crowd like that. You couldn't even see standing on the stage how far back.
Let's get a quick check on what 100,000 looks like. It's quick fact check on 100,000. Let's talk about my people. You know, the kind that end up in all kinds of internet rabbit holes, and next thing you know, you signed up for free foot cream, you know, for my wife, of course. Next thing I know, my mailbox is inundated with spam. In fact, let's talk about that time I was out of town, signed up for the membership to save $2 on jelly, cause cheapness over everything. Now I'm getting phone calls. Who is this? You know I don't even answer for my family. This is because companies gather your data, aggregate, and trade it. It's actually really big business, like leaving church early. I think it's wrong, but it's very popular. It shouldn't be allowed, in my opinion, but these companies have a scary amount of information about all of us. Now, I don't want that out there, and I don't think anybody should. The good news is you can get it removed, but the bad news is that it would take years, like literally years, like longer than getting rid of the Electoral College, longer than it's going to take for DC to get representation. So what do? There is a solution. With today's sponsor, Incogni, you can just sit back, relax, and let them take care of it for you. It's like having your own data agent who handles all the dirty work. It gets to work immediately, and the handy dashboard will show you all the work that it's doing. 97 completed already, and I just started. Nice. And if you sign up with my link, incogni.com/ReeseWaters, or click the link at the top of the description, you get an amazing offer of 60% off. So definitely take advantage of that. Again, cheapness over everything. Speaking of which, did I tell you it'll tell you how much time you saved? That's hours more of life I get back to spend probably in internet rabbit holes. So perfect. So to get that 60% off, go to the link in the description. That's incogni.com/ReeseWaters. Take back your privacy and your peace of mind. The link is in the description. And thank you, Incogni, for sponsoring this video.
Laura, I want to ask you about something that the former president said last night on that stage, specifically about Hurricane Helene in your home state of North Carolina. He said that FEMA is only offering $750 to Americans who have had their homes destroyed. That's not true. He's also echoing conspiracy theorists online who falsely claim that the administration is redirecting disaster money for undocumented immigrants. That's also not true. Why is he spreading misinformation in a crisis like that? And does that concern you about your fellow North Carolinians and how and whether they could actually get help?
Now here we'll do a simple multiple choice. Here, once again, you have a Trump mouthpiece appearing on CNN, directly responding to clear, I would actually call it disinformation, because misinformation, I think, is giving him a little bit too much credit. I think he knows better. Let's go ahead and call it disinformation and be honest about that. Here you have a Trump mouthpiece appearing on CNN, responding to lies and claims he has made about a natural disaster, one in which we have seen multiple threats to FEMA. In fact, we just saw somebody be arrested for threats to FEMA, in addition to people refusing to take help from the federal government because of the information that Trump has been pumping them.
It's hard to even imagine it. I mean, he lost almost everything, and he's refusing all help from the federal government and complaining to us that he doesn't have food, that he doesn't have the stuff he needs, and yet he won't accept the help. What the hell are we supposed to do? We've sent him all the FEMA bulletins. We've sent him all the stuff from the fact checkers. He doesn't believe it. He thinks it's all, he just believes Trump. Literally, Dan, it's a cult. He's a cult member.
So let's have a simple multiple choice. A, does she admit defeat and say that he in fact lied and appeal to the people to listen to the proper authorities? Does she, B, tell you, are you going to believe me or your lying eyes, and that the wrong information is in fact the correct information? Does she C, deflect and all of a sudden make it about the radical left? Or does she D, text Nancy Mace?
I'm incredibly concerned in North Carolina. I hear every day from people on the ground there, and they are desperate for help. It is a dire situation there. I actually think we don't even know the extent yet of truly how bad it is there. And look, Kamala Harris did come out and say it's $750 per family right now. The idea that we've spent $650 million in fiscal year 24 on the migrant crisis that Kamala Harris was responsible for stopping, and by all accounts, she created by having an open door policy at our southern border,
but
is
Laura,
infuriating.
let me just stop you right there.
Congratulations! If you said C, deflect, and all of a sudden start ranting about the left, you are correct. I don't know what prizes you've won. If you guessed that correctly, that means that you've been subject to a lot of these kinds of back and forths, and quite frankly, I think you probably need some sleep.
Let me just stop you right there, because I just want to not let this get out there. You are right that FEMA is giving $750, but that is a first step. It's for immediate needs. It's called the serious needs assistance.
Dana, and said that they are out of money in terms of their hurricane relief. We have another hurricane heading towards Florida right now.
What they have said is that there is money
right now. Why don't they have anything in order? Why is it that right now the citizens in Western North Carolina are screaming for help, and it's having to come from local citizens, people from my hometown of Wilmington?
Here she lying now. She lying now. The bees. I think the bees can take some credit. If you also said B, are you going to believe me or your lying eyes? Come on down. You also can take the prize. A nap.
Are driving across the state 6 hours to go to the mountains and help people.
It is bad.
Where is our federal government? Why are they out of money?
It is bad there, but my question is about the misinformation, particularly the notion that they are moving money to migrants, to, you say, undocumented migrants, which FEMA says flatly is not true. And if people are not getting correct information, then they can't go for assistance as they have been asked for.
I think that point that Dana Bash just made deserves much more emphasis. This is one of the things that I've repeated throughout this whole episode. He's weaponizing people's anger who desperately needs help, which is actively preventing them from getting the help that they need. He does not care about you. I don't understand. What's so hard? What's so hard to understand? What's so hard to process about how much he does not care about you?
I just want to quickly play with Senator Tom Tillis.
Let me just say for 1 second.
Go ahead.
You have migrants being housed in luxury hotels in New York City. We have paid so much money from our tax dollars into the crisis that didn't need to happen. We could redirect money to help people immediately on the ground in North Carolina, or in Florida, where we're probably going to have a situation coming up in the next several days.
That's a separate tranche of money. That's a separate tranche of money. I want you to listen to. I want you to.
Migrant crisis
I want you to listen to what
every American. It is a big problem,
but that has nothing to do with the people in your home state right now.
Now, we have seen these kinds of back and forths before. We definitely see it on Abby Phillips' show all the time. And one of the things that I observed, especially when it was Byron Donalds was on Abby Phillips' show, is that you bring somebody in to loudly lie while you quietly try and correct them. What are people going to take away from that? When you bring in people like that and you're trying to challenge them, and you even have references and resources to challenge them, like she was just trying to toss to a video, you need to be able to manage the misinformation that is coming from the object of your interview, or else that's what it becomes about.
I want you to listen to what the Republican senator from North Carolina, Tom Tillis, said about the rescue and recovery efforts.
I'm actually impressed with how much attention was paid to a region that wasn't likely to have experienced the impact that they did. For anybody who thinks that any level of government, anybody here, could have been prepared precisely for what we're dealing with here, clearly are clueless. But right now, I'm out here to say that we're doing a good job.
So he and others are saying, please, to the former president and to others, stop spreading misinformation because it's hurting people in North Carolina.
Okay, here we have our second multiple choice. When faced with the words of a fellow Republican, what does she now do? Slink away and admit defeat and appeal to the people to listen to the proper authorities? B, lie. C, deflect. Or D, text Nancy Mace.
I'm so glad to hear that he feels that way, but it's coming directly from people there. You can go online and you can look at videos of people recording themselves and posting online saying, we need help. No one has come here. We have nothing. And no one has even addressed the situation in my neighborhood or my area. So I'm glad to hear that he feels very good about that. And I hope that we hear more of that. I want them to recover there as soon as possible. And it's tragic, the loss of life that we've already seen. I think that number, sadly, is going to continue to go higher. And it's a tragedy all around.
Oh, yeah, I can see just how devastated you are with the tragedy that you're actively weaponizing and very clearly refuting the information that the authorities, Republican authorities on the ground, are reporting. I could see exactly how devastated you are by that. And by the way, if you said lie, congratulations, come on down. You get a second nap.
I want to turn to something that we learned this week about from prosecutors on Donald Trump's role in trying to overturn the election results in 2020. When Mike Pence's life was in jeopardy, an aide told prosecutors that Trump said, quote, "So what?" Do you think that's an appropriate response to the notion that his vice president's life appeared to be in danger?
Well, I think that this is a ridiculous ploy, of course, in 30 days to an election to try and dissuade people from voting for Donald Trump.
A ridiculous ploy this close to the election to try and dissuade people from voting. She did say she's been around for a while, right? So she should remember 2016. That is interesting. So now it's a problem that something objectionable and problematic would be released so close to the election.
Hillary Clinton opened up about former FBI Director James Comey and his role in the 2016 presidential election. She revealed why she thinks Comey reopened the investigation into her emails just days before the voting.
Not to mention the fact that didn't your boy just hit up Stormy Daniels again? Okay, all right, okay. Just making sure that he stays relatively clean so close to the election. So even he is aware of the nonsense that you are spouting.
A lawyer for Donald Trump asked adult film star Stormy Daniels to sign a new non-disclosure agreement this year, according to documents provided to CBS News.
After this, I can't imagine anybody would have... Huh? They brought her on Breakfast Club?
I was going to ask, a lot of people feel that Trump is racist. And what do you say to that? In 73, of course, it was when he got sued for not renting to African Americans. And 89, when he took out the ad in the paper. And even saying Obama wasn't born here and show his birth certificate. And there's numerous things. So what do you say to that?
Well, I think that's ridiculous. I've known this man for 16 years.
Oh, boy. Oh, man. Why don't you ask the accused mother if she believes that he's guilty? Like, so because you've known him for 16 years and also it's in your best interest for him to get elected so he stays out of jail and the grift continues. So I'm supposed to believe you over the facts and information. Got it.
There's such a thing now as Trumpnosis.
The same person who excused all of the storm misinformation, the same person that was talking about being able to handle ballots, supposed to believe you that he's okay. So I wonder why the nachos showed up to the boat party. They were just in the area. They were just in the area. They always just in the area though, aren't they? They never too far away, you know?
And, you know, you can go to each of those incidents and, you know, there was never any proof of anything with the houses that you're talking about.
He settled off of that though,
Yeah,
right?
they settled that. And there was no admission of anything there. You know, Central Park 5, there were so many people. You had a Democrat.
Oh, okay, so he settled when there was never any proof. Got you. So he just in the business of giving away money then. Cause I've never heard of the settlement when they have no proof. That is a new one. That is a new one.
You know, Central Park 5, there were so many people. You had a governor, Democrat, DA who prosecuted the guys, and they admitted to it. There were a lot of people in New York
They were
at that time.
exonerated and freed, and there was never an apology, never sorry, never a my
I will
bad.
say
There were a lot of people. A lot of people who said they should get the death penalty. A lot of people who took out a full-page ad and said that they should get the death penalty. A lot of people, after they were exonerated, who still asserted that he believes that they are guilty. A lot of people who, on a national debate stage, mind you, a lot of people who did all of that. That sounds like something you would say. That does sound like something you would say. Yeah. I mean, because it's so alike, but it sounds like something you would say.
Donald Trump really was very beneficial to the black community when he was in the White House. I will say I've never seen this man say a racist thing. I think the attacks are fairly... Why is that funny, Charlamagne?
I'm just like... it's hysterical. But I mean...
But no, Charlamagne,
because people act like
listen.
there's no such thing as Google, or we don't have TV, we don't
Well,
have
what is
radio.
it that you think that...
And Charlamagne was right to laugh, because for you to say that you've never heard him say something racist and you are in his inner circle would mean not only is he not racist in private, when he's been racist in public, which would be illogical, but also you haven't heard any of the racist things he said in public, which if that's the case, you definitely need to be removed from head of the RNC, because you are not following the campaign at all.
Well, what is it that you think that he said?
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
This morning, a bitter backlash after President Trump referred to Haiti and African nations as S-hole countries during a meeting on immigration Thursday.
This remark by the President of the United States smacks of blatant racism.
I mean, we could have gone with...
They're taking the jobs from our black population, our Hispanic population.
We could have gone with...
She happened to turn black.
We could have gone with...
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs.
We could have gone with...
Before he said, yeah, but would America buy then he said the N-word, winning.
We could have gone with Omarosa as a dog. I could go on and on.
Here's what I'll say. You know, this is a man who, as I said in the beginning, was beloved by so many people in this country. Mm-hmm. And he was friends with everybody. You go
a lot of celebrities.
Jesse Jackson, by the way.
Please don't,
his Rainbow
don't do
Coalition.
That. He had black friends. That's not going to work out.
No.
Oh, credit for calling out the Black Friends play before she was able to run the He Had Black Friends play. Is she still going to run the He Had Black Friends play? Absolutely.
He let them stay rent-free in one of his buildings, the Rainbow Coalition, because he felt like at the time that was a very important thing. You can go pick apart somebody all you want. It is a traditional talking point to attack Republicans, to call them racist. But when you look at the things that he wants for this country, he wants every person to be successful.
Okay, so because it's a traditional talking point to call Republicans racist, then that gives him cover for his racism? Is that trying to figure out? So he's good. So he found the right place for his political ideology. And I guess the nachos that showed up to the boat party were just there for old time's sake.
Hail Trump.
They weren't there to support Trump. They just are diehard Republicans. So they know that that this was their marina.
And whether you want to talk about actually funding in perpetuity historically black colleges and universities, whether you want to talk about the First Step Act that allowed 30,000 nonviolent felons to be released from prison, who the 1994 crime bill actually put in prison.
Got you. Now, we've already discussed the whole HBCU funding thing, and quite frankly, it is embarrassing that they still trot that out. You would think if what you're saying is true, you would have a lot more ground that you would want to cover than to continue to trot out the HBCU funding. It's also fascinating about the First Step Act, is one of the things that I have discussed is the ongoing conversations about criminal justice reform and how this has been going through Congress for quite some time. I will give Trump credit for passing the First Step Act. How that looks in the light of the immunity that he's currently trying to grant police is fascinating. And you're talking about his first term in office. I happen to remember his first term in office when met with opposition and the emergence of the Black Lives Matter movement, his continued assertions of law and order.
I am your president of law and order.
And I also know how much they love running footage of those protests, whether they be peaceful or otherwise, as some kind of example for how overrun our Democrat-led cities are. So try again.
How do you ask Mexicans and Muslims to ignore a lot of the rhetoric, Haitians to ignore a lot of the rhetoric that he said about them that is dangerous, that has villainized them, that has demonized them?
Well, I would say anyone who's coming to this country illegally, he's very against.
You do hurt the Haitian Americans that are here, the Mexican Americans that are here. They all get labeled and villainized and demonized.
Yeah, but you know what? I think people are finally seeing through that. It's very easy to clip up something like that and say like, oh, let's push this out here. When he's referencing these things, he's talking about people who are illegally in our country.
Woo! Well, I've definitely heard enough. So her answer to people being demonized that are in this country is it's very easy to clip up something like that. You mean very easy to capture the things that he said? Very easy to remember and hold him accountable for the actual things that he said. And they always want to pivot to talking about illegal immigration, ignoring the fact that one of the things that we have continually voiced is the impact and ramifications that the things that you're saying have for people here. He doesn't delineate when he's making those statements, and his people don't delineate when they're saying and doing racist stuff on his behalf. So try again. Matter of fact, don't try again, because I know exactly what it's going to look like.
Well, I think that's ridiculous. I've known this man for 16 years.
And it's for that reason I have to ask this question. Is Lara Trump the saddest, most problematic of the Trumps? Is she? Because one of the things that I have asserted before is two kinds of ops. Those that know better and those who don't know better. And those that know better have an added responsibility for the knowledge and home training that they in fact have. Now, when it comes to Lara Trump, she wasn't somebody who came up under Donald Trump. She hasn't watched Donald Trump all her life. She's not fighting for her own namesake. This is somebody who saw what was going on, decided that she wanted to be a part of it, and now devolves and debases herself to the lowest of levels in order to protect these people. It's for that reason I think she might be. I might have to put something out on the community tab. She might in fact be the worst Trump, because she, I believe, at least knows better, but she's willingly engaging and involving in this circus.
You gotta be special.
Now, I will give you the one caveat. I guess technically the saddest Trump is maybe Kim Guilfoyle, because she apparently cannot even give a speech.
The best is yet to come.
Why are you yelling at him, though?
But she's still a Guilfoyle, so that falls on you, Lara Trump. As for you guys, Breakfast Club, you did a good job of challenging her, but you saw all that she was giving when she appeared on CNN and her litany of other appearances where she did nothing but deflect and or lie. So I don't know exactly what it was that you were expecting you were going to get out of this one. I did see that you brought Jessica Tarloff on. That was nicely done. However, one of the things I suggest, why don't you go ahead and bring Jill Stein back and tell her about her new endorsement? I think that would go well.
Breaking news. David Duke, a name synonymous with white supremacy, throws his support behind Jill Stein.
I just know I would watch that. As far as you were concerned, Lara Trump, that's not flying. I mean, it's flying on Black conservative Twitter, but literally anything anti-Black flies on Black conservative Twitter. If the nachos that showed up to your boat party started a podcast, there would be a Cartier family clip of them watching it and applauding it the very next day.
We gotta make America
White again.
We know that.
Appropriately enough, even the reddest of counties have seen through this nonsense.
Well, who are you going to vote for?
The right person.
Well, who do you think the right person
I'm
is?
gonna be Donald Trump.
Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Good news for all of my members. The badges and emoji are finally here. And I want to hear from you. What do you think about them? How do you feel? Send me an email at reese@reesewaters.com. And if you want to take them out for a spin, just show up to one of our premieres or one of the lives, or even just drop a comment and let those new emoji fly. And if you haven't joined yet, the link to membership is in the description.